Hey, so this is an article that caught my attention, specifically because of the framework that they're utilizing. The article is titled World's First Humanoid Robot Swarm Tackles Complex Factory Tasks at China's Car Plant. And then the subtitle is that it's powered by DeepSeek R01. Walker S1 robots use human-like reasoning to autonomously plan and coordinate tasks in dynamic settings. And I'm not going to say I told you so. Like, I'm kind of tired of saying I told you so overall in these videos. So I'm going to say like I told you so like twice. I'm not going to label it in this video, but that's it as far as that, right? So within this, essentially, bottom line, breaking down their technology here, they utilize and create what they call brainet, which connects cloud device inference and skill nodes to form a swarm intelligence system composed of a central superbrain and distributed intelligent subbrains. The superbrain uses a large multimodal reasoning model, in this case DeepSeek R1, to manage complex production line decisions, while the subbrain, built on a transformer model, handles multi-robot control and cross-field sensory integration. This system supports distributed learning, accelerated task training, and skill transfer among robots. Developed with DeepSeek R1 Deep blah blah blah, this enables it to be the best, and it actually does stuff in actual factory settings, and they can actually utilize this in a factory to actually in a real world setting to create embodied agents in this particular instance, right? And then so highlighting overall that for 2 years now, I have been saying, like literal 2 years, that the only agent framework that I think that would work around LLM models is incorporating LLM models plus swarm algorithms. I've made a countless number of videos on this topic. I've made models on this topic. I've released frameworks on this topic. I've told like investors, and anyone that wanted to actually make money for 2 years related to this, here you go, right? Like you could have had a golden opportunity right here in your lap. I tried to tell the world about this. Now China's doing it. So there you go. If someone's gonna if these ideas would actually work, then someone's gonna do them, right? Here you go. Someone's actually doing it. Very simplistically, like here you go. I like their literal framework, like everything that they're doing here. Started talking about this 11 months ago. I built out this exact framework 11 months ago. MOBA swarm agents, right? And then so it's very simple as to how this works overall. Welcome to MOBA swarm agents, a framework designed to integrate swarm algorithms with large language models in a simulated MOBA, multiplayer online battle arena environment using Unity. This framework aims to address complex task management and automation challenges by leveraging the strengths of decentralized swarm algorithms and centralized LLMs for strategic oversight. I don't just make these things up. Introduction. MOBA Swarm Agents is an innovative framework that combines the power of swarm algorithms and LLMs within a MOBA-inspired simulation environment. The primary objective is to create a robust, scalable, and efficient system capable of managing and automating complex tasks. Essentially, like the bottom line here and how this framework works is it utilizes swarm algorithms coupled with LLM models overall, right? And then the LLM models are designated and they go into individual lanes and they have individual jobs. It's lanes would be the individual jobs within the factory, right? And then so the factory workers are trained very specifically for individualized tasks, and then that's the brain of that task and how that coordination is processed. All of that feeds through a centralized LM model. The LM model has sensors attached, which are via swarm algorithms, and it all functions in that manner, right? To me, it's very simple as to why you would want this structure, how it works together, etc., right? Swarm algorithms have been around since the 1990s. They were invented in the 1990s. Why weren't they big, and like what happened to them then? I've talked about this a million times before too. Swarm algorithms, when they were first invented, they were invented before computers were actually good, is the bottom line within that, right? They were invented before parallel processing existed. Parallel processing is exactly what makes swarm algorithms good if you understand the actual architecture behind how all of this works. That's why, like, when I understood and started diving deep into like AI and why it sucks GPUs and why it needs GPU over CPU, etc., very first thing that drew my attention to that was swarm algorithms. If you understand all of that, like, it's the best possible scenario that you can get out of how AI operates overall, right? Like it's like, okay, I can utilize each individual GPU block as a individual computer essentially under a swarm algorithm framework, and then so I can essentially make my I can turn my GPU into 10,000 swarm agents. Like that's better than having a block of compute. Like one block, like 10,000 agents is better than one block. Just how it goes, right? Like simple math within that. And then so exploring and knowing those things, and then just putting all of these simple pieces together. It's not hard to put the simple pieces together. It's just putting all of the pieces together and understanding like this piece goes with this piece goes with this piece, right? And then there it is. And then if it works, if it would work, then someone would actually do it, and people would start building factories off of it. And then here you go, right? Like, but this, I mean, I'm very fortunate overall, I guess, is the bottom line, because this isn't the like first, last, or only opportunity that I've ever had that, you know, like I talk about or come into these things overall. And there are people that do. I am very fortunate that there are people that a lot of people that do take my research very seriously overall. So I'm not knocking, or you know, I don't like to always be the like on the back end of like criticism or like, you know, like always be like, I told you so, like blah blah blah. But it's just it does get frustrating because it's like, man, I was talking about this for like 2 years, and then there's like so many people, like the biggest criticism when you very first start talking about something that's like out there, that's like brand new, is like, well, like if it were big, then someone would do it, right? And then that sticks in your brain, and then that burns in there, and then like when you see it like a year, 2 years later, and it's like, yeah, no, like, yeah, like, no kidding. Yeah, people are doing it because it actually works, right? They didn't just jump out and criticize. Like they went through and realized that it actually worked and implemented it. And then like, there it is. There's the proof, right? But that social proof doesn't get you anything as far as putting food on your table, recognition, any of those things, right? And then so none of that matters in the end. And then none of that matters to the person criticizing. But all it does is just like bring the world down, like bring another person down for no reason. To like the world is it's a very bad like disease, I think, that is like spreading throughout the world as it currently exists overall. But within that and within this, I mean, like I think like things like this are either the counter to that, or they will further fuel that problem overall. AI is a mirror overall, right? All of these things are a mirror overall, is exactly how I look at these things. It is this technology and the advancement of this technology good or bad? It's up to how exactly people treat it, and how exactly society decides to go with that. I think that it's going to be very bad in the status quo, because I think that society is going to treat it in bad way. It's a mirror, right? 1,000,000% a mirror. Like AI does not have any sort of internal organisms or workings to drive, desire, power itself in any means, shape, or form, right? It requires a human actor in order to set it into motion. In order for these robots don't all of a sudden, like, they're not gonna like turn themselves on every single day. Like, I need to run the factory. Like, let me turn myself on to make sure I'm running the factory like every single day, right? Like they don't care. And then so it's the human that is making sure that they're on every single day, right? And that's the bottom line within this. And I can't state that enough. And then so like, if any of this, like if it's problematic to you, then it's problematic on the human societal level, and it's the human societal impacts are what is problematic, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about those, and we should be talking about that and those. Like, I think we are sweeping all of that under the rug far too much, but I think we're placing the blame, like placing the blame on AI isn't going to do anything or stop anything, especially because it's not AI that is the impetus for this, right? Again, like, AI is not turning itself on to do these things. Like, it's the human behind the AI that is, and the human behind the AI is going to continue to do that, and that's just how it goes. So if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.